Welcome! Today, we're diving into a career that's right at the crossroads of cutting-edge tech and, frankly, life-saving science. We're going to lay out the exact blueprint for becoming a highly paid, high-impact pharmaceutical AI consultant.
Okay, let's start with a bit of a mystery. This quote right here, this is the key to everything. It's a huge hint that your coding skills, your Python wizardry, well, that alone isn't going to cut it. Something else is way more valuable. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly what that is and how to use it.
So, where's the big opportunity? Well, it all starts with what you could call Pharma's billion-dollar problem. You see, these companies are sitting on an absolute goldmine of data, but they're completely paralyzed by the risk of actually using it. And that tension, that's exactly where you come in.
I mean, just think about it for a second. These companies have terabytes, literally terabytes of priceless data from genomic sequencing, from decades of clinical trials. It is a treasure trove that could unlock new drugs faster than ever. So what's the problem? They're terrified of their own AI models, because in their world, a bug isn't just a bug. An unvalidated, untrustworthy model is a multi-million-dollar regulatory nightmare just waiting to happen.
Let's break down what's really keeping them up at night. First, they are drowning in data, but absolutely starving for insights. Their R&D costs are just astronomical. The pressure to innovate faster than the competition is crushing. And on top of all that, everything is wrapped in these thick layers of regulatory complexity and painfully slow manual documentation. It's a perfect storm, you know? And you're the one who can navigate it.
Okay, so how do you actually become that solution? How do you step into that storm and fix things? Let's get into the blueprint. It's a clear, four-step path that's designed to solve these massive problems head-on.
The whole framework is actually pretty simple but incredibly powerful. First, you identify the client's biggest pain point. And I don't mean just on the surface. I mean you dig deep into their clinical trial pipelines, into their data. Step 2, you define your service. You propose a very specific, validated AI solution for that problem. Then you structure the project with clear, auditable milestones. And finally, the most important step, you deliver value that they can actually measure. We're talking dollars saved, and even more importantly, time saved getting new therapies to the people who need them.
And this right here really gets to the heart of it. Your role is so much more than just being a tech expert. You are the essential bridge, the connection between all this exploding data and the patient who's waiting for a breakthrough. It's a job with some real purpose.
All right, remember that mystery we started with about the secret not being better code? Well, it's time for the big reveal. The key that unlocks this entire industry, your secret weapon, is compliance. And that weapon has a name, GXP.
So what on earth is GXP? Well, it stands for Good Practice, and you can think of it as the non-negotiable rule book for the entire pharmaceutical world. The core principle is super simple but has huge implications. If it isn't documented, it didn't happen. Every single action, every decision, every piece of data has to be traceable, has to be provable. No exceptions.
This is where it all clicks into place. On the left, you've got your typical AI development. Fast, a little messy, focused on accuracy. But on the right, that's the GXP world. Here, the focus isn't just accuracy, it is auditability. Black box decisions? No way! They have to be explainable. And instead of move fast and break things, the motto is move carefully and document everything. This means following strict data principles like Alcoa Plus, which just ensures all your data is fully traceable and trustworthy. This difference, this gap, that is the massive opportunity.
And truly understanding that difference is what lets you charge a serious premium. So let's talk about the fun part, pricing your expertise. Let's see how this specialized compliance knowledge translates directly into your bank account.
You can start with something like an AI readiness assessment. This is your foot-in-the-door project. You basically go in, audit their systems, check out their data, and identify where the opportunities are. For a couple of weeks of work, a typical fee for this is around $15,000. Not a bad start, right?
Now, once you've shown them what you can do, you move up to the big leagues, a full implementation project. This is where you're actually building and validating a compliant AI system for them. For a single project, maybe a predictive model for clinical trials, the fee can jump all the way up to $150,000.
And at the absolute top tier, you can land these amazing ongoing advisory retainers with the big pharma players. This isn't just a one-off project anymore. You're their trusted guide for their entire AI strategy. And for that level of partnership, you can be commanding fees of $75,000 a month. But look, as impressive as those numbers are, the money isn't the whole story. It's not even the best part. Let's talk about the ultimate reward. Because this job is about so much more than a paycheck. It is fundamentally about making an impact.
And this just illustrates that impact perfectly. Take a real-world example. An AI project to optimize a clinical trial cost the client $100,000. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, by using AI to design a more efficient trial, the consultant delivered a staggering $1.4 million in savings. That is a 1,300% return on their investment. You're not a cost. You're a massive value creator.
So your work really becomes this powerful, continuous cycle. First, there's validation, making sure every system is compliant and bulletproof. Then comes value, proving a clear return on that investment. And finally, vigilance, always staying focused on the ethics, the data integrity, and of course, patient safety. Which brings us to our final and honestly most important question. After all the talk about tech and compliance and money, what is the real, true purpose of being a pharma AI consultant?
And here it is. Your purpose isn't just to make an algorithm run a little bit faster. It's to make the entire, incredibly complex process of creating medicine faster, safer, and more effective for everyone. You are there to accelerate healing. And that is the ultimate reward and the true mission of this incredible career.